Good morning, everyone. It's Tex here from A2K, and thanks for joining us for today's webinar, Getting Started with AutoCAD 2021. Technical consultant David will be presenting for us. So first, we'll just go through about A2K. We're all about fostering innovation through consulting and training. A2K Technologies plays a vital role in helping the infrastructure, building, mining, construction, architecture, and manufacturing industries reach their full potential by delivering complete technology solutions and support services such as education, consulting, and IT managed services. We work with visionaries to shape the future of design and in turn enable them through innovation to minimize risks, improve productivities, and achieve excellence. A2K Technologies is considered the business partner of choice and trusted advisor by vendors and clients. We partner with major software and hardware vendors to meet our clients' technology needs. We strive to exceed client expectations by understanding their challenges and delivering solutions through experience and innovation. We work with clients and companies of any size nationally and abroad. Over to you, David.
Thanks for that, Dexter. Can you hear me okay?
Yep, all good. Thank you.
Yeah, awesome. All right, so thanks guys for joining us. We're basically just gonna go over a couple of the new features that are in 2021 that have been developed by Autodesk, and it's just a bit more expedited than the workflow that we're used to with our other CADs. So the one major one that I think is pretty handy is the manage revisions and drawing history. So let's say we have our plan here, and originally our client wanted this kind of open floor plan. Then they changed their mind that they wanted a wall here, for example. And if we just go into our view and we go back and we start to look at our drawing history, I can quickly check here and I'll just take off the no differences. And let me just move this over to my other screen so it's not in your way. And right away, I can see what's not in the current drawing or what is in the current drawing. And from that, I can actually just start to change my stuff. So say the client did want to go back to the other one, I could just delete this and then put this back in. And then I'll just say that I want to import this back into my drawing, and I'll say okay. And once it loads, so now you'll notice that it's black, but that's because there's the no differences off. So if I just take that off, you'll see right away my drawing is back to what our clients kind of wanted before. So they wanted that wall. And then again, same thing. If they did come back and say, oh, I had dinner with my husband and they said, oh, actually, we want that wall back. We just go back into our DWG Compare. I might need to go back a different date. Yeah, so this one, for example, and then again, I could just go, let me just turn that off. So this isn't currently in there. I'll go to this one. Again, I'll just delete it. Turn this one on. And I'll just import these back in. And now it's changed back. So I guess for me personally, every time I would have a change for a client, I'd always just maybe select that thing that I had, and then I just like copy and just move it up to the top just in case and saved it. And then if they ever did have to do it, then you obviously go back and start to move everything around. So this just helps set out a lot. Another thing is like an XREF compare. So maybe you do have some XREFs. So maybe I'll just add like a rectangle to this one and I'll save it. You'll notice that it comes here. Now we have a little notification, and we can actually, if you don't want to compare them, you can just uncheck that. But otherwise we can reload it and we can actually get these revision clouds again, and we can see what has actually changed. So that's not only in the current XREF at the moment. So right away we can see what has actually changed. Another new feature is the revision clouds. So we did have them before, although now when we do put them in, we do have, maybe I'll just put it over this one. We do have a little bit more variability that we can play with them. So in the properties now, we can actually start to tweak these. Oh, maybe that's a bit too small. Tweak these as we see fit. And they're actually their own, as you notice here, revision cloud. So they're their own kind of entity now, whereas before they weren't. Whether or not you use those. Another nice feature that we have is actually the new measurement tool. So it's just in our home tab and just where we're normally used to it. So it's this new quick measure one. And if you like to type, it's just that one, measure geom. So once we select it, we can start to see these measurements in here already. So we can already see it's 3000 millimeters by 2950. And we can start to quickly measure stuff up. There's a lot going on in this one, in this drawing, but you get the point. And you can see these little, it's hard to, these little squares here, which means that that's a 90-degree angle basically. So it's helping you there as well. If we do start to click on it and hold, you'll see that the area starts to come up. And if I hold shift, and obviously it's not picking this little area up, and I hold shift and click again, it'll actually give me that whole area. So it's in millimeters squared, so 18.9 meters, but we can start to quickly get our areas of certain areas without actually having to use that area command. Another one that I personally like is the trim command. So basically, it's just a lot smarter now, and knowing what is being trimmed and what's not. So we don't need to select what we want anymore. So as we start to do that, it works out, and it's just smart enough to know. And even if I hold shift to extend it, it's smart enough to know to replace them back again. So we don't have to worry about doing any of the selection of like, as we had to do before, where we like either selected like that, then type trim. And for those of you who press buttons, it's just under the home and the trim here again. It's in that same area. It's just a little bit better now. In terms of collaboration, there's also the ability to actually view your CAD files on any device. So I'm just going to show you a quick video because that's a bit easier to show as opposed to a live demonstration. So I'll just move this one over here. I hope that you can hear the sound, but if not, let me know. I don't know if it's too loud either. So the handy thing about that now is that we can actually start to implement like Dropbox and OneDrive and the like. So for example, this one that I have is all from our OneDrive. So if I did end up changing it, I could end up opening on my iPad when I'm on site, and then I can start to, oh, you couldn't hear. That's all right. It was basically just music. They weren't actually talking. Also, if you did want more information on everything that I'm going through at the moment, we do actually have it on our website as well. So it's going over that drawing history, maybe a bit more in depth than what I wanted to, and then the XREF Compare. I'll talk about the block palettes in a second. And then basically all these are here. And that video is just this one here. But yes, it was just music. But yeah, just jot down maybe this or screenshot, or we can share it with you. And that's where all the videos are going to be housed. Okay, So the block palette is they just added an extra little feature to it. So let me just open up my block palette. So it's just this little extra little tab. Before it was in 2020, there was the 3, and then this one has that 4th one. So basically all I've done was just go to that folder that I have my blocks set up. And now I can pick out all my blocks right away. So then I can just start to drag and drop blocks into my drawing as I needed. I know that some people are still not overly happy with using that. So you could still technically use the classic insert if you wanted to. And the command is still available. It's just classic insert. And it'll bring up that classic insert dialog box. You can also change it if you wanted to. So I'll show you 2 ways of doing that. So I actually do have it on my end. I've done both just because. So basically it's just the CUI, which is just our customization panel here. And again, you'll just need to find your classic insert, which is just that one. And then you just kind of go into your ribbon where you normally put it, or you can put it where you see fit. So I'll just go into my panels and then my insert block and row. So you'll see this is what you'll normally see. You'll see that insert, but then I just dragged and dropped it into that area. So that's what it gave me. And then you can start to tweak it as you see fit. So I said large with text, and then these are basically already set for you, so you don't have to worry about it. And then what that basically does is in my insert, now I have my classic insert instead of just having the one that you normally would. So now when I click on that, I can get that. If you are a typer like myself, you can actually just change that into commands. So under your manage, and then we just need to go to edit aliases. And it'll give you this text file. And basically what you could do, I'll show you at the bottom what I've done for mine. Let me just make it a bit smaller. So these are just stuff that I like to use. So instead of circle, I changed mine to be copy to be that. And you can also change I to be classic insert instead of insert. So all of the commands that you'd normally, it's a bit high level, but all the commands that you normally use are all going to be viewed in here anyways. So you'll see the insert is that. And basically at the bottom, I've just changed I to be classic insert instead. So now if I do click I or press I, you'll see that classic insert is here. Whereas your normal one would be it'll just say brackets insert. So it's just something to think about if you are doing that. If you do change it, just make sure you save, and then you technically they tell you to restart CAD, but you can actually just use a command, which is just reint. And basically you'll just check off the PGP file, which is that notepad, and then you'll just press OK, and it's basically just rereading it. Something to note though is double check where this is saved. So I can see that this is just my stock folder, but double check where it's saved just in case your company has saved it on a network area, because as you start to tweak this, you might actually start to tweak it for other people as well, which may or may not be ideal because maybe they are used to CI being the copy, or they don't want the classic insert. So it's just something to note as well. And just an extra little tidbit for the tool palettes. So these are kind of similar to the block palette, but you can start to like just drag and drop. Like for example, I can just hold my right key and I can bring that into here. I won't do it at the moment, but it's already in here. And then basically whatever you start using a lot, maybe you start to organize it. So I have my custom hatches, for example, here, but have a look in here because there actually are a lot of stuff that's already made out of the box by Autodesk that you can start to drag and drop into your plans to just to make it a bit faster. And they're already dynamic and everything, so it's pretty handy to just take advantage of that. And in a nutshell, that's basically all the new features. Autodesk has focused a lot on their 3D stuff, but they have heard that a lot of people still do use their CAD, so they're trying to make it minor improvements. If you do have suggestions, it is always good to just send it on those forums asking for it. Whether or not it does get done, we don't really have much power over that, but it's just something to note. So I'll just bring back this slideshow. If there are any questions, please send them through. And if I went too fast and you want me to show something a bit more, please let me know as well. Oh, there's a chat. Oh, sorry, I missed that one. Oh, okay, it was basically everyone talking about the sound. Yes, it was just music in the video. It's pretty straightforward, so I'm assuming there aren't any questions. Oh, there was. Okay, let me just open up my CAD. Yes, there will be a recording. And we'll send you the link. It'll be on our YouTube channel, and we'll send you guys the link as well. And then in terms of the trim, can you change the selection from a freehand to rectangular selection box? I'll just go back to, I'll just go to trim. I know that there was, there's all these different ones. I haven't played with all the modes yet, but I know that there is a freehand like that, which what you just mentioned. But otherwise, oh, okay. I see what you mean now. I'll have a look. I usually just click. That's why I haven't really thought about that. Let's have a look at our modes. Okay, so there, it's just that. I think the mode changes it back to the old one, if I remember correctly. So I'll just do that again, just in case, because I was kind of playing around. So yeah, it's basically just mode and then standard mode. And then it gives us our selection back. But as you can see, it's in our classic again. Any way to make it so the MEA command does the distance straight away rather than the quick measure? Yeah, so just as that PGP, do I still have it open? Nope. Okay. In here, let's just look for our MEA. So there's the MEA here measure and this old measure. So again, you could just, what I do basically is I just copy it and I use that find tool. I bring it down to the bottom here and I'll just change that basically. I'll just say that ME would be that one and I just cancel that, save it, reint, PGP, ME. And now it's working for me. If that was a little fast, let me know. I'll do that again. So just manage, edit aliases, and it'll give you that notepad. And I just bring it down to the bottom and I just change it. So basically everything that's underneath here will override everything at the top. So any changes that you do, it's ideal to just put it at the bottom here and it'll override it.